Okay. Well, this whole life thing started when I was born in 1988, November 9th. My mom said about as the sun rose, which makes me important. Uh, I took significance in it because I consider myself to be like a bright person in terms of positive, like always leaning towards hope, no matter how dark things seem. But and that's not to say there are moments and times I get depressed, because that has happened a lot in the past. It's a little bit where I'm at right now because I had a conversation with my mother earlier. Um, it went something like, I told her about some past events in my childhood that I always felt sick and felt like I couldn't tell her. Also, just like, I didn't say this to her, but a part of me didn't like even know I felt sick because that was just how I felt all the time. So I was just like pushing myself extra hard all the time, trying to get accolades, not necessarily perfect grades, because that wasn't my goal and it wasn't important to my parents either. But we went to Christian schools when I was in middle school and first year high school, and before that I was in Christian school too, a different one. And I'd always get trophies for completing the most paces, which were basically booklets. You'd read, fill in blanks, take tests about subject matter. I would always complete like 40 more of those per year than any other child in the school. So they'd give me the most paces award, and it would say how many I'd done, usually 101, something like that. I did more each year, but most kids did something like 64, which I thought was an accomplishment. I just kind of rigged the system. Not really, but I figured it out. Well, especially in seventh grade, I was just, I was just always having stomach problems. But in seventh grade, I started getting periods, and they were like pretty painful and horrible. And some of the days of course, never told my mom because I didn't think she'd listen. Because it's not like as a family we ever talked about anything. It's not like she even talked to me about a period. Had to knock on her door once and she didn't even know my period started and I was asking for a pad. And I probably had one the month before as well. um, and it's just like pads were never really stocked enough in the bathroom at our home. They were stocked in her bathroom, but not the bathroom I could use. So I'd have to wear like the same one all day, and so I'd have to put toilet paper on top of it all day. And I had pretty heavy periods, so it wasn't very effective. And a lot of times I'd bleed through my skirt. We had to wear skirts at the Christian school. And I didn't have any black skirts, so there was a specific event where I'd like move the dress around to the side and cover the blood stain with my hand. I was so like embarrassed. There's nothing else I could do. I wouldn't go to recess those days, although it's kind of would have been nice to get some fresh air or something. Um, at this school, it was called Christian Assembly Foursquare Academy. We would kind of go to these podiums. We were separated by cubicles that stretched along the east and west side of the wall. Well, not respective to the town, east and west, but um, Yes, so that was my roommate. Um, we'll say you walk in, so I always think of buildings you walk in, north is straight ahead, so that's how I think of things. But so there were like, let's say, oh, probably 10 or 12 cubicles spread against the east-west wall, and then there were 3 more lining the doors. So we were separated by we were separated by, if you've never seen a cubicle, it's not a desk. There's a wall between you and your potential classmates. But we weren't allowed to talk to each other. Occasionally we passed notes, but I wasn't too into that. I found it kind of boring. So I just got really good at scanning these pages of the Paces. So unless it was interesting material, I wouldn't read it. Oddly enough, I don't want my neighbors to hear me. I live with a few other people in this house. But I don't mind if the internet does. It's just anyway. I just have some painful memories of this period from like 6th to 9th grade, but starting in 9th grade, a whole nother story of my life happened. But I remember this other girl came in and she was pretty ambitious too, and she was new. Something like Katie Callis. I think her last name was Callis. And she was pretty smart and she'd do the paces pretty quick. I thought she was going to beat me, but I was doing them at home too, in most of my spare time. So there's no way she could beat me. And winning really mattered to me at this point and still does to a large degree. I'm pretty competitive, not that it's ever made me happy, but it's a short burst of energy. It's fun, and usually I can win because I have like a lot of mental power. Like even in board games, like I can just win and somehow like will the game in my favor. But it's just so. We had some good like teachers. So you would put like an American flag or the Foursquare church flag in a little hole on your divider between the desks. If you put the American flag, you had a question. I don't know what the other flag meant. We might have left it there all day. I don't think so. I don't know what it was for. Maybe bathroom? But that would have been embarrassing.